Thank you for tuning in to my vegetable dumplings video. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you go ahead and do that, and let's get started. Alright, and here's a cabbage mix I'll be using, and fresh scallions, ginger and garlic chopped up nice and fine, mushrooms chopped as well. This would be a lot easier if you had a food processor, but I do not. So I am putting in the elbow grease for this recipe. And I'm just going to chop up this cabbage mix. Into the pan, no oil. Just some sesame seeds. I'm going to toast them until they are nice and brown. As you can see, they're slowly browning, and finally they are nice and brown. To this, I'm going to add just a bit of oil, saute my mushrooms first, go ahead and add my cabbage mix. The cabbage mix isn't going to brown as much as the mushrooms because there is so much. And so it turned into somewhat of a steam, which works out well because I am adding water to this anyways to make a filling. It was the equivalent of about a half a cup of water to a tablespoon of cornstarch. It's just over a half a cup, but as you can see, the end texture is very nice. And I seasoned this with a bit of soy sauce, and also threw some nori in there as well. And for the dumpling wrappers, they are really simple to make. I used about a cup of water to a quarter cup. I used a cup of flour to about a quarter cup of water. And that was it. Mixed it together like a dough. If you've seen my udon noodle recipe, that's exactly how you make the pasta. Not nearly as much kneading. I only kneaded it for about 5 minutes, set it aside, and it was ready to go. So I have cut out circles, and this is how I make my dumpling. Alright, just pinching one side to the other, almost like a pinch and a tuck. Not even, just a pinch. Continual pinching. And there's different ways to make your dumplings. This I find is the easiest way for me, so this is what I go with typically whenever I make a dumpling. And be prepared to have, the not so ideal dumplings, especially if it's your first time. And just be careful sometimes, or as you can see, overfilling it can be an issue. But sometimes you can just kind of stuff it and force it to fit. So just whatever works for you. Alright, and these are my dumplings. And this is an extra step. You can pop these right into a pot of boiling water, but I like to lightly saute the bottom, just barely, then add my water, and I steam them in this way. And here is just a couple of sides. I'll be eating the dumplings with just a bit of spinach and avocado. And I'm just cutting the avocado to fit the size of the spinach leaves. And here are the dumplings. They're ready to go. And you can by any means roll out your dumpling dough to be a bit thicker rather than as thin that I did in this video, but my preference is a thin dumpling wrapper. All right, and on to the plate goes the dumplings. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.